Alright, here I am, the latecomer to the map reading challenge. Some family issues kept me from getting here on time, so I actually didn't arrive until super late last night, around 2 a.m.
Well folks, welcome to this installment of the Map Reading Challenge. As you can see, we're following David in this episode. And remember, if you haven't already registered to win your free Bowtech Rain 6 or your XOP Air Raid Hang on Tree Stand, follow the link in the description section of this video. It'll take you to my website where you can do all that. Also remember, the view count on this video and on David's scout trip video, they all add up to be added onto his total score. So if you want to help him win a Bowtech Rain 6 and his team to win the XOP Air Raid Hang on Tree Stands, make sure you share this video around. So let's check in with David and hear how things are going for him, because as you could hear right there, he missed the whole first day because of some family issues. So now we're rolling into the second day, which is the first full day of the Map Reading Challenge. How did David make out? Let's go find out. All right, Mr. David McRae. Is it McRae or
McRae?
McRae.
Yeah.
McRae.
Yeah.
Mr. David McRae. Welcome to base camp.
Thank you.
2:30 in the morning.
Yes.
I hear this rumbling truck, and I'm a light sleeper, so it woke me up, and I knew you were coming in, so I went out and talked to you.
Hot.
Coming in hot at 2:30. Tell me what happened on your trip in last night.
So
and then you can tell me what happened this morning afterwards.
Yeah. Okay, so a couple of no-nos. I was on my phone whilst driving, and I turned into the park, and I know from last time being here, I run out of reception as soon as I get closer.
Right.
And I'm listening to music. You know, I'm a little sleepy driving, so I'm listening to like some metal, some rap. You know what I mean? A little mixing it up.
Mixing it up. Keeps you on your toes. That's what it does. Yeah.
So I'm on a song, and I'm kind of hitting.
Your body's like, what's happening? What's happening?
Yeah. Like,
I can't shoot these deers.
So like I'm getting closer, and I see a lot of deer. So I'm like, all right, maybe I should slow down a little bit. So I do, and I'm getting closer and closer, and then I'm on the road, the main road that brings us in.
Being on the road's good, yeah.
Yep. And I was like, okay, I'm on the main road that brings us in, and I go to start a song over, and badoof, and I hit a deer, and so I completely mangled its front leg. No damage to my truck whatsoever. So thumbs up on that. Third in reverse back up, and she's flopping around in the road, and she's not gonna make it. I could see the front leg was just destroyed. So I take my bow out and do a nice little shot. She lets out a grunt and lays down. I watch and I sit, you know, and just take my time because I figure I'll just let her die, and I'll throw her in the back of the truck and handle it in the morning. I go to pick her up, and she springs and then like kind of like tumbles off into the.
She's not having that.
It was like the last.
Wow! What are you doing?
It gave me a little fright, and then she goes off into the shrubs, and I can't really see. It's 2 a.m. and it's dark.
Right.
So I'm like, and I'm wearing like jeans and Crocs and no socks and stuff. So I was like, all right, I know exactly where it is. I'll go get to the cabin, let everybody know I'm here, sleep, get up, get in the morning, take care of it in the morning. So I go to retrieve it in the morning. I have to drive a little bit out of the park to get reception, figure out what to do. You suggested like calling the game commission and stuff like that. Yeah.
Pennsylvania Game Commission. Normally, you call them, and they, you know, if you've hit a deer and you want to use the, process it, keep it, they issue a tag for that.
Yeah.
So that's why I said give them a call. You know.
So I gave a call, and a guy was like, "Yeah, we'll issue a tag," and I was like, "Well, I'm not local." And he's like, "Well, for locals, absolutely not. You can't."
For non-locals.
For non-locals, you can't keep the deer. And so I was like, I thought that was really weird, and he was asking me where I was, I guess, to send someone to come get it. And then a spark went off. I was like, well, I can just go to the park office. It's still within hours. I can go to the park office, and I can just drop it off to them. Right. So I go to the park office, and everyone at the park office was super nice. Super nice. And the guy's like, well, if you want to keep it, you can keep it. And I was like, well, there's rules that I have to, like, call this number, and this gentleman that I called said I couldn't keep it. And he was like, oh, yeah, well, you do have to call you do have to get the number and whatnot. And I was like, well, I'm not a resident, so the rules say that I can't keep it. And he was like, well, he's like, I didn't know residency was an issue, but he's like, if you want to give them a call and tell them that I say it's all right with me, if it's all right with them, then you can process it. Because I mean, in my mind, it's meat. It's
right.
Yeah, like yeah,
we're gonna eat better.
I was like, yay, meat. So I call again, and the guy was just like, I said, hey, I'm here at the park office, and the gentleman here says if it's all right with you, it's all right with him. And the guy on the phone was like, absolutely not. So unfortunately, there's a location here at the park where they tend to put a lot of the roadkill that happens, and he was like, well, this is the location, so just drive there and dump the deer there. And I mean, and I was following the rules, and maybe there's a bigger reason why this policy is in place, I don't know, but it just felt in my gut wrong to like I kicked food off my truck into
and it's not, I mean, unless the bears go and eat it, it's not going to be used.
So it was an incident of where doing the right thing didn't exactly go the way I thought it was going to go. And then I also...
It's heartbreaking, you know, and I mean, like, they obviously have regulations for whatever their reasons are, but that's one that it's, I mean, if you can feed a family, I just, you know, it doesn't make sense to me. You know, and that bothers me. There's rules like that sometimes that, you know, maybe they had a reason for making them, but it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
It seemed wrong, and maybe when I get home, I'll look up this. There might be a legit reason as to.
I don't know. The only thing I can think of is if they think it's going to help, you know, prevent poaching or something. I don't know, because then if a non-resident has possession of a deer, they know that they can't have possession of a deer for any reason.
Right.
So, but I don't know. That would be like my only guess off the top of my head, but who knows?
I know, but if you call it in, how are you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it'd be different if I like threw it in my truck and like was trying to hot tail it out of town, and I got caught by the game warden. But I was like, hey, this happened. I don't want to leave it on the side of the road because I'll eat it.
So I mean, so here we are. Tomorrow's the last full day of the challenge. What's your plan, brother?
All right, well, after the deer ordeal killed my morning sit. So after all that.
You basically had one sit
One sit. And so there's a spot that I want to go to tomorrow morning that's kind of where two draws meet. And I walked it a little bit today to see where I could get in, and I kicked up 2 doe. So I have hope for there. I'm going to sit there in the morning, and if nothing happens there in the morning, there's another spot a little further away that I want to check out and see what it looks like. So it's a toss-up, but I know I'm going to this other place in the morning. We'll see what goes down.
Well, hopefully things turn in your favor, and hopefully you'll get some meat to bring home.
Yeah, we'll see, man. So it's been wild, and can't wait to hear what the rest of the guys have gotten into and what the rest of the guys.
All right, man. Well, let's go talk to them and see what's going on, man. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
David.
Yes, sir.
How you feeling, brother? We just finished the map reading challenge. Although you didn't get the full 5 hunts in.
No.
We are at the conclusion of our current one, but talk to me. How did your last day of the map reading? Your first full day?
My first full day, actually. I think small disadvantage for not having the full amount of time. The spot that I sat, I had some hope for. I got there in the morning. There wasn't really much happening. When I got down to kind of explore further, deeper into the area, I bumped about 3 or 4 doe, so that kind of gave me a little hope. One thing I did notice, and I didn't really anticipate, was just the amount of, I guess, vegetation change just in the matter of time. So spots that I thought I could clearly remember when I scouted them just seemed to look completely different. Even when I had GPS to kind of get to them, it was just like, oh, this is crazy. And I don't know if that was just the thing where the
I can relate to that.
The animals, some of them had like clear game trails to go into, and they weren't there. So I don't know if it was a thing where the animals had shifted travel or something like that. But
or maybe Lewis took your GPS and was moving your points around. And you're like, ah, man, there was a trail here before.
He moved the decimal. I don't know. Definitely something to learn was what I did when I scouted is I went to an area and I found a spot and I marked it on my GPS. I think in future what I'll do is find multiple spots in a given area before moving on to a different section, you know, and I think that's where I dropped the ball on that.
I think one of the reasons I do that is, you know, various wind directions, you know what I mean? Like, will this stand work in this wind?
Yeah.
No. Okay, then will work, you know, and then find a location that will, you know, so you have options or whatever. Yeah, so that's a good idea.
Yeah. So I think that's my takeaway. And I mean, it's hunting. It's not. It's not show up and shoot.
Yeah.
So it's.
Yeah. Well, for you, it was show up and shoot. It just didn't quite work out.
It didn't work out that way. Yeah. So yeah, I had a blast. I mean, everything we learned worked. You know, there were deer in the area.
Yeah.
Like, so it wasn't as if I was just sitting in an area where there were no animals.
Right.
They were like when I got down and moved around.
Yeah, they were there.
They were there. So yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Well, I am glad you made it.
Thank you.
I'm sorry that they wouldn't let you keep the deer.
Yeah.
You hit that deer and you shot that deer.
Yeah.
You should have got to keep that deer.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting experience. Fun all around. I enjoy the guys. I enjoy everything. So yeah.
All right, man. Well, hey, congratulations on the first almost full map breeding challenge.
75% map breeding challenge.
All right, man. Good luck to you the rest of the season.
Yes, sir.
The last 25% suck.
Well, folks, David clearly had a rough go. It was a rough start, and it just never really came together for him, and I felt bad. You know, and I think God brings purpose to everything that goes on in our lives, and perhaps maybe the deer didn't show up for David because maybe God's providence, he wanted to help highlight this tragedy that happened with the deer that he hit with his car. And so with that in mind, I have to address the Pennsylvania Game Commission here. Pennsylvania Game Commission, if you're watching, I have two things. First of all, I honestly think you owe David an apology, and people like David. I mean, here it was an accident. The deer got hit. He put it out of its misery and then was willing and desiring to feed his family with that animal. And you did not let him do it. That really doesn't make sense. So I think you owe him an apology. And secondly, coming from that, I think you need to amend whatever ruling you have that a non-resident is not allowed to keep a deer. I mean, we are ready to process it. You know, maybe if you just change it to where a non-resident must have the deer processed in Pennsylvania, whether that's doing it on their own and disposing of the carcass properly, or paying a Pennsylvania business, a butcher shop, to do the butchering for them. And in that way, you're even bringing business to the state of Pennsylvania, and the person's getting fed and his family or her family. So honestly, I think that rule, whatever your reason was for it, and I'm sure you have some reason somewhere somehow, you need to amend that, because what happened in this situation was flat out wrong. So please take that to heart, Pennsylvania Game Commission, and do something. Act on it. Don't just hear what I'm saying, but do something about it. So folks, getting to the end of this series here, this is the end. This is the end of the Map Reading Challenge. You've now seen all the teams, and the New York Non-Typicals beat out the Maryland team. However, the team that took it all was the Young Bucks. So in the next video, I'm going to just do an announcement on what the scores were for all the teams, and who on the Team Young Bucks wins the hunting prizes for this map reading challenge. So thanks so much for tuning in to this whole series. Make sure you get your name in so that you can also win the Bowtech Rain 6, and you can also win an XOP Air Raid Hang-On Tree Stand. And make sure you share this video around, because David's depending on it now to help him and his team win those prizes as well. Thanks again. Till next time, take care and God bless.
All right, so here I am. I guess this is the dumping site. I'm not 100% sure, but this is the area he showed me on the map. This is the unfortunate animal. Again, I mean, I feel like this is really one of those scenarios where doing the right thing doesn't seem to have the outcome you thought it would. You know, I hit this animal, put it out of its misery. I looked up what the process was. I followed the process. Apparently it's to do this. Again, maybe there's a larger reason that I don't understand as to why they do it this way. And I mean, maybe that's something I need to research, and there'll be a follow-up video as to why. But again, I've said it previously, this just doesn't feel weird. It's like if I was driving my truck and I hit, let's say, a donut shop, and I knocked out the fryer and they couldn't make any more donuts for the day or whatever, and I went in and I was like, hey,
I'll buy whatever you guys have made, or I'll even take it to someone who can eat it. And they were like, are you from this state? And I was like, no. They're like, well, no, you can't because you're not from this state. But if you were from the state, you could take the donuts. So instead of selling them to you or allowing you to take them and give them to someone else, we're gonna throw them away. I don't know. I'll stop my crybabying and get to the dirty. And okay.